So there are three parts of today's activity that you're going to do to help you to reconnect with what's important to you. Okay. The first part of the activity is going back into parts of your life and identifying things when you have felt really fulfilled or passionate or inspired or driven by that particular moment in time. So you're going to identify 5 times in your life where you have felt compelled. You've been passionate, you've been fulfilled, you've been driven by that particular moment. And you're just going to jot down those 5 moments. Once you've done that, then take some time to explore those moments in a little bit more detail. What about those moments stood out for you? What was it that got that bee in your bonnet that lit you up? What was it that made you feel fulfilled? What were the feelings that are common across those 5 things? Because those 5 moments will all have a common ground, a common element, and those common elements will likely be an indicator of what's important to you. Okay, so we're trying to create and establish a pattern. If this happened and this happened and this happened and all these 3 things made me feel like I had a sense of freedom, that I could fully express myself without judgment, without thinking about my words, then expression of freedom, expression of self is probably something that's quite important to you, because if it's been in 3 out of 5 big moments in your life, then, that's a good thing. That's a common denominator there. So that might be one example of how you will then pinpoint through those moments to identify the common traits, that I shouldn't say traits, the common veins. Okay, I'm going to use vein over trait because a trait is too boxed in with a label. You've already got an idea, a definition of what a trait means. A value can be much more ambiguous than that. I hope that's the right word. So you're going to identify out of those 5 moments that were important to you or that made you feel alive. And I would encourage you to think of things in recent times as well. Okay. The day that you gave birth, yep, that was a big moment in your life. The day you got married, the first kiss with your partner, all that, they're big moments. But if they're more than 12 months ago, they're also obsolete in a lot of ways, because you are not the woman that you were 12 months ago. So I would encourage you to really look at 5 moments, within the sort of last 3 to 6 months. And they don't have to be big, the heavens open up and the world starts to sing at you moments. They could be, like my example, where I was just scrolling on social media and I saw a comment from someone, and that one comment just burred me up. Not in a defensive way, but in a, I have to make this right kind of way. There was a drive behind it that was not defensive. It was not, I'm going to prove her wrong. It was not anything like that. It was just this drive to be heard as a mum who struggles. That was a very, very pivot. I can't say that word. It was a moment where my world, the axis shifted, so to speak. So look for those moments. And then once you've identified those underlying core values, the feelings, the sense that you got from those moments, then I want you to look at 3 activities that you can do within the next 48 hours that create that sense of feeling again. Okay, because, or not necessarily create, or direct your current situation to amplify that sense. Okay, because it's all very well and good going, I know what's important to me. Justice is important to me. Feeling seen and heard and defending myself and helping other people to know that, struggling mums matter too. That's important to me. Okay, that's great. But what are you going to do with it? Because I do not want this challenge for you to be another challenge where you go, I learned this about myself, but then nothing changes. This is a challenge to create moments of catalyst change. So when you become aware of the things that are important to you, the next step is to go, right, what are the 3 things that I can do within the next 2 days that give me a sense of that allow me to tap into that direct my world towards that a little bit more? Because that's how you're going to start to express yourself more authentically, when you start to purposely choose to do the things that have meaning to you. Does that make sense?